Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sam v United People's TV. Apparently, I fancy the stretch as soon as we're started. It's Friday. We've got Brighton tomorrow. Early kickoff, 12:30. I'm going to be speaking about Manuel Ugarte a little bit later in the show. It's close, but it's like closer than close. What's a word that's closer than close? Because it is the closest it could possibly be, whilst also not actually happening. I'm going to run through all the latest whispers and murmurs. And we're going to be speaking about Sékou Kone, the 18-year-old that Manchester United have agreed a deal with. And why I'm excited about what that transfer represents. Not necessarily about Sekou Kone. Hey, you're an 18-year-old Malian midfielder. All right, we don't know exactly how good or how bad you would be. But it's about what that signing indicates. Man United not only buying for the present, but also for the future. And we've not exactly been good at buying for the present, let alone the future. So it's just the times are changing. That's what I think that signing shows. We'll also speak about Brighton, preview, team news. You get your comments in. We'll have a full discussion. Good morning, everybody. Who's here from the Mod Gang? Vicky, good morning to you. Nice to see you. Anage, you're there as well. Alex and Josh. As always, Carl, you were there at the start of the show. And T, you were there too. Good morning to all of you. In terms of members, we've got Lisa, we've got MC Mick, we've got Chris, Kenny, Garlic Bread Man, how you doing, buddy? Jonathan, Keith, and Coletso. And on Facebook, we've got El Habib. Good morning to you. Jason, Nasaru, Mark Fossey, and Steve. Everybody, please fire any comments and questions throughout the show. Please keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times. I love theme parks. Anyone like theme parks? I haven't been to one in ages. Good roller coaster. Ooh. Right, let's start the show. And there's actually not going to be any point in laughing at Chelsea. Although I could probably do it from last night, but I don't really care anymore. I do. It will happen next week. But I just want to dive in straight to the main, well, I say the main talking point. The talking point I want to start with, all right? That there is Sekou Kone. And Fabrizio Romano came last night with the surprising news that Manchester United have agreed a deal for him. Surprising. Look, I'm not going to pretend that I've watched much of this lad past the compilations that I watched yesterday, all right? And there's a video going out at lunchtime today. I've picked out some moments from his under-17s performance at the World Cup and saying, like, oh, here's an example of what he can do as a player. The reason I'm excited about that signing is because of what it represents on a bigger, grander scale and how Manchester United are changing, right? A little bit more information here from Fabrizio Romano saying, look, it's going to be 1 million as a transfer fee. Deal's 100% agreed. He's going to have a medical. Laurie Whitwell has already reported from The Athletic that he will come into our under-21 setup and he's not a first-team signing, all right? I think everybody knows that. Shax, thank you. Shax, man, you gifted 5 memberships and then Akash came from the top rope. A swanton bomb from the top rope from Akash with 50 gifted memberships. It is a... I think this might be the new theme tune at United People's TV, accidentally. Should do like an Austin Powers themed party. I'll go as Fat Bastard. But Akash, you just gifted 50, man. Everybody who gets... All of you. I saw somebody mention the other day, what is a gifted membership? A gifted membership is simply a gift from a member of our channel, a member of the community, trying to invite somebody else in. Come into the Discord. Come into the members-only chat in there. Check out the community members-only polls. There's plenty of stuff going on. I don't know how a mod gets a gifted memberships. That's cheating, though. That's absolutely cheating. But with Sékou Kone, right? This was my personal reaction to that yesterday. I looked at it and I said, that's absolutely a Christopher Vivell signing. Now, Vivell was brought in, again, surprisingly. No one really saw it coming. Sod knows. When was it? July? I have no idea when. Brought in and was given the title of Director of Global Talent at Manchester United. That was his short-term role. I'd be amazed if it ends up being a short-term appointment. But I want to give some credit here to Luca. Big up to Luca, who I messaged after this. Did some really interesting research. Okay, and what I'm going to quickly show you here is connecting the dots to show you how important it is to bring the right people into your club, not only because of their experience, but also because of their network and because of their contacts, right? So Luca did a little bit of research and realised that Salzburg had signed plenty of players from Gidars FC, which is where Kone was playing. And you go down here and there's some examples, right? Attacking youngster from Mali moves to Salzburg. Diakite arrives from Gidars FC. There's a little picture of him signing his contract. Another example here. 18-year-old new signing from Mali going to Salzburg. You see where the connections are going here. Of course, Christopher Vivell previously worked with Salzburg and established a network. And if you look at Salzburg, you look at the Red Bull Group, really. There's too many to name. Of course, Haaland is a massive example of them getting it right because United ballsed it up. But you look at Amadou Haidara, you look at Christopher Nkunku. They have been a big reason why the Red Bull Group has been successful in breaking through into European football with Salzburg, with Leipzig, has been their talent ID. Their ability to spot players, bring them in, and they become stars. And they can sell them for a big profit. And by doing that X amount of times, you then fund the growth of your club. And it's something that I've been jealous of for a long time. Like, it's not as if Manchester United don't do it. We spent 10 million on Hannibal Medbury, right? We signed Garnacho for 420 grand. But Vivell clearly is bringing in a little bit of his network here. Some things that he established that. And if you go down here and we look towards JMG Football, which is an academy that has direct links to Gidars FC and Salzburg, and you take a quick look through their list of players who have come through their academy, you might recognise some names. You've got Yves Basuma there. You've got, that's Didier Zakora. Down here, you'll see a certain Yaya Toure. You'll see Amadou Haidara. You'll see Javinho. You'll see Kolo Toure. You'll see Solomon Kalou. Man United have to, and this is what Kone is, right? Kone is a signing for the future. And it could be an exciting one. It may not work out. But when you're signing 18-year-olds and you're paying £1 million for them, if after 2 years of development is not quite growing in the same way that you hoped he would, you've still helped that player massively develop, and you will probably be able to sell that player for a profit. Move on. Good luck elsewhere. Not quite good enough for Manchester United. But when it works out, you find the gems. And that's why this is an exciting signing for me. Could well be that it doesn't work out. It could well be that after 2 years of development inside our academy systems, and he's 20 years old, and he feels comfortable, established in Manchester, and he massively develops, that we then have someone that we can bring through. And that's what good scouting can do. And that's why Christopher Vivell came in, right? And that's why I'm excited about it. I'm going to go down here because I can see everybody's getting vibey today. Guy Breadman, you've gifted 5 memberships. It is the Food Gang, because Aunt Potatoes joined in with 10. And Klein, you're not food related, but you've also gifted 5. All of you, thank you so much. Let's bring out Casemiro. He hasn't been here for a while. It is raining memberships. It is a Friday. Come on, Casemiro.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello.
I hope he plays well tomorrow. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. Right, actually, let me pull this up as well. You've got Chido Obi Martin, who we signed from Arsenal, 16, coming into the academy. You've got Samuel Lussal from Crystal Palace, another 16-year-old. He's a winger. So 2 kind of domestic signings. And then you've now got Sekou Kone, who's going to be brought in from Mali. So a foreign player coming, but being spotted and signed to the academy. And then you've got Lenny Yoro, who's 18. Isn't it mad, right? Just goes to show you, I don't know how to describe it. Like, Yoro has just joined Manchester United at the same age that Kone is going to join, but he's £52 million. Because if certain players in the right clubs and environments can just, their growth can be massively accelerated. By the time they're 18, they're already worth 52 mil. But this is why I was excited about Christopher Vivell, and I hope it is the start of much more. Now, something that a lot of you want United to, and I completely agree with you, by the way, we need to attack these, not attack, all right? We need to approach the South American market better than we have done. I can't even remember, I know we talked about Facundo Pellistri, but prior to that, when was the last time that we made an under-18 signing from... I don't even think you can anymore because of Brexit. And Brexit has made that a bit of a problem, really, for English teams. Because I don't believe now that any... And probably why we've only gone after Sékou Kone when he's 18. I don't think that we are allowed to sign any players under the age of 18 now. Certainly not in Europe anyway, European Union. I don't know how that applies to South Americans or Africans. I have no idea. But that's something that we have to do. It's just that... I think I've said this for quite a while, right? I don't think the problem has ever been Manchester United's scouting. I think our network's massive. I think the problem has always been the person who's been in charge of looking and interpreting said data. And that is where this man, the director of global talent, looks at all of these reports and goes, this is the one that we need to... This is the one we need to go for. And the track record of Red Bull, Salzburg, in identifying players and bringing them through. Amadou Haidara is a great example, but there will be others. It's exciting. Origami saying we need one in the South American market. I'm sure we have. Like, people talking about Chelsea signing youngsters from South America, but I tell you what, boy, are they expensive. Was it Gabriel Moscardo? Was that the one that PSG signed this summer? I think they just loaned him out to someone else. I swear he was like 30 odd million. You know, look. Moscardo, I swear it was PSG. How much did they pay for him? ESPN. PSG signed Brazilian team from Corinthians in a deal worth 20 million euros. Right, well, there you go. You get the point here. 20 times the price of Sékou Kone. So while the South American market will probably give you better returns and may have better players, you have to pay for the privilege. Like, if you're looking at Real Madrid with Rodrigo and with Vinicius Jr. and Endrick that they've just done now, Real Madrid love doing that. Love going to the Brazilian market and trying to snap up players. And they've got a very good track record of doing it. I'll be interested to see how that develops over the next couple of years or so. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long. But it's just, I'm excited about that signing. That right there is a signing for the future. And that's what you need to do. That's why it's different. You need to be able to look at the present and nail the transfers that you're doing. And we'll speak about Ugarte next. And then on top of that, you need to be able to look to the future and bring in players who maybe in a couple of years' time will come back. Let me read some of your questions out down there. Questions or your comments. Jonathan is saying, Brexit doesn't allow us to buy from the European Union because of visa rules. South American market is easier. Well, it's more expensive as well. Brian, thanks for the super chat, dude. You're saying, what do you think will make Vivell stay long-term, and will we get a director of recruitment as well? My personal prediction, Brian, is that Manchester United will really properly establish a multi-club model. We've already got Nice inside of it. It's going to be we're going to move towards the City Football Group, right? And Man United are going to be part of this. And I think Chris Vivell will then move up into like a director of global talent for the entire group. And then somebody else will come underneath him and kind of replace the job that he started now at Man United. That would be my prediction of what happens with Christopher Vivell. In terms of director of recruitment, I mean, it depends how heavily involved Ashworth is. We don't really know. I wouldn't be surprised, though. I wouldn't be surprised. What you're saying down here in the comments. Can he sign them and loan them back? I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I really don't know. What you're saying down here in the comments. Esteval was the expensive one. Is that the Chelsea one? I mean, I don't know how Chelsea signed like 900 players. I can't keep track of them. You see him yesterday. What's his face? Maresca. I swear he just absolutely... He didn't physically slap up Mudryk after, but... he's ostracising half that squad. He's just getting into scraps with them all. And it's after the first game of the season. It's the 23rd of August. Someone saying that Brentford just brought a Gremio player for 10 mil. Yeah, it's an expensive market. But let's see what happens with Kone and how he continues to develop. Nipan, somebody mentioning down there, says Moses. Was that the lad that played for... Who was it? Was it Copenhagen? I think it was Copenhagen. I swear his first name's Sverren, something like that. Don't know. Kagotso saying, do you think the multi-club model will destroy competition in the leagues? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. And I wish they did not exist. I think it's just ridiculous. Back in the day, or previously, you had relationships with clubs. Man United had Royal Antwerp. We would send out players there on loan. They come back more developed, get more first-team football. Great. But a multi-club model, Chelsea just literally buying Strasbourg and then just signing players to Strasbourg. Was it Rosenborg? There you go. Rosenborg. Thank you very much. Close enough. Ish. I don't like it at all. But football and FIFA have allowed it to go too far. They won't be able to stop the City Football Group now. They won't be able to stop Liverpool establishing one. That's why Michael Edwards was brought in. And they won't stop United doing it. It really is a case, sometimes like you can't beat them, join them. Unfortunately, I think that properly exists with the multi-club model. And I wish it didn't. And of course, it's easy for me to say because we're Man United. We're one of the 5 biggest clubs in the world without having a multi-club model. We don't need a multi-club model. We are the multi-club model on our own. But it's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. There's a comment there from Enrico that I'm going to answer. Because sometimes I don't really speak about it. He's saying, hi, Sam. I'm interested to know your relationship with other YouTube channels, if you guys assist each other, etc. Truth be told, I've operated very much individually the whole time I've been on YouTube. You know how, like, for a lot of people, you're told the best way for you to grow as a channel is to collaborate, because then you mix audiences, you expose don't actually expose yourself, I hope not anyway. But expose yourself to new audiences, and that helps you. But I've always wanted to sort of walk my own path on United People's TV. And for that reason, I've not done collaborations. It's not because I don't want to. No, I'm sure that speaking to Stehausen, I think a lot of the content, some of the content we do kind of crosses over with each other. Got no problems with Makola. I think everyone knows my opinion on what Goldbridge does with United Stand, and it works and it's great, but that's just not my style. But UPTV is a multi-channel model. No, although it will be multi-language soon. Tell you something that's going to be happening. But no, I've always done things differently, done things on my own, and I think it's made what we've done here and the community we've got that much stronger as a consequence. But it's taken a long time, right? It does take longer. So if you want the quick way up, collaborating is the way to go. But now that we've made it, it makes our position stronger, in my opinion anyway. Let's move on and speak about the transfer that is... I don't have a word that is closer than close. But I got bored of it yesterday. So I just... look, right. And this might annoy people. It really feels to me like Fabrizio Romano is now an influencer first and a journalist second. And the reason I'm saying that, I'm telling you, it's part of the reason why people are getting so annoyed about this Ugarte situation, is because you'll get a non-update in 4 hours saying it's close, it's closer than close, and then 3 hours later you'll get another one that says, oh, it's even closer. And then Fabrizio's like replying to people with emojis and just hyping people up, and it's just, it annoys people, and I'll be honest, it's annoying me now. And that's why David Ornstein is there as the number one, because when he speaks, boom, it's happened, it's done. But Fabrizio will take you on a journey of every single minute detail here, there, and it's like, it's just, it's annoying, which is kind of where we are with this Ugarte situation, all right? He's going to join. It's been pretty, I won't say it's been clear for ages, but it's definitely clear now that he's joining, all right? And this is what the whispers are all saying. That's what I said yesterday. It's touching cloth. It's that close. Fabrizio here saying, it was his yesterday at 1:30, I think it was. 1:15. United are getting close. No bids for Edison. I don't know where that came from. You've got Fabrice Hawkins here from Paris saying that PSG still want that 60 million. And interestingly, Fabrice Hawkins has been saying this whole way through, that there is a potential deal where there is an option rather than an obligation, which I still don't think will happen. Duncan Castle's here throwing his hat into the ring saying that the relationship between Qatar and Ineos, because of what happened with the takeover of Manchester United, is fractured, and the battle of the egos. Who win in a scrap between Ratcliffe? What's his name? I can't remember his name anymore. PSG chairman. El Khalifi? Al Khalifi. Who's winning in a scrap between Ratcliffe and Al Khalifi, right? That's an important poll. Who wins? Who wins in a scrap? Mate, Jim Ratcliffe, he's still running marathons. I mean, El Khalifi's got the years on him, but he stays pretty fit, Jim Ratcliffe. I'll give him that. Al Khalifi. Right, there you go. That's the important one that everybody wants to answer. All right? Who's winning that scrap? We're not talking about Sheikh Jassim, by the way. All right, we're talking about El Khalifi, who is the chairman of PSG. All right? But I'm back in Ratcliffe. I reckon Jim's going for that headbutt quick. And this is what's been reported out. Again, my dad told me yesterday, somebody got annoyed in the comments, is it L'Equipe? It's not L'Equipe. L'Equipe? I think it's L'Equipe. Keith saying that Ratcliffe's got the reach advantage. If I ever get to interview Jim Ratcliffe, I'll ask him, so who's winning this scrap between you? We asked our community. They backed you, but you need to let us know. So this is what the report from L'Equipe is saying. Ugarte will play for United this season. There's an agreement in principle. It will be a loan deal with a 60 mil option, which will almost certainly turn into an obligation due to very easily achievable clauses in the deal. And I think we spoke about this for a while. Like, an obligation is only an obligation if it's very easily achievable things, which apparently it is. So that would be Ugarte makes 25 appearances for Manchester United. Right? Or sod knows. I don't know what it is. But taking a look at this is the squad for PSG this weekend. You will see there is no Ugarte. There was no Ugarte in the first game of the season for PSG, left out of squad. And there is no Ugarte for the second squad. Ugarte is joining Manchester United. All right? It's going to happen. When it happens, we don't quite know. We've been told it's closerist, the closest that it could possibly be. And then we still don't know what's happening. At some point, we'll just get a here we go. That'll be great. And we'll come live. But there really isn't too much more you can say about it. United and PSG are just locked in negotiations. No, James Gaming, that's the squad for PSG, right? That's the squad. It's not actually the starting 11. It's just about the finer details of what this obligation would be. I'm presuming that PSG would want the money up front. Yeah, Christian, I completely agree with you. It's genuinely hilarious that PSG have been pushing for this 60 million euros. Pardon me. But it kind of looks like they're going to get it. And I'll be honest, I don't think that's a good deal for Manchester United. it doesn't mean that I think it's a bad signing. I just think it's around about 15 million euros more than it should be. And that PSG have really got away with one. If they've managed to sign Ugarte for 60 mil, then put him on the bench for half a season, and then allow him to leave for 60 million euros. It's just... There we go. Yeah, there we land. I need to get that lad on. I cracked up when I saw Brighton do that. That is called being on, having your finger on the pulse in terms of socials, to announce a player with there we land. 10 out of 10 from there. Josh, you're saying you walk away at 60 mil euros. Just like... Of course, it's next summer, so the finances should be better. Who else you say? Put it in the comments then, right? So if you're walking away at 60 million euros, who are you putting down as a signing that we could make for 45 million? And I'm sure there are, by the way. I'm sure there's plenty. We've spoken about Anton Stack. We've spoken about Daniel Bolocka. You've got Morten Frendrup, who's another one as well. Just these, like, slightly lesser profile, I suppose, players. But, I don't know. I'm frustrated that the deal is, by the looks of things, is going to be more than I think United should be paying. But I think overall this summer, United have done pretty well. Ross, you're saying I don't care about the price. Ultimately, none of us give a toss about how much a player actually is, but it's just important what it represents, right? The United tax disappearing. I think United tax is largely gone so far this summer. And I'm surprised, of all the transfers, right, this is the one that I feel that United have got most leeway in. I think it feels like United have got more leeway in negotiations over Ugarte than we even did with De Ligt. Xerxes different. It was a release clause. And Euro, we went big, so Real Madrid couldn't compete. Yeah, of all the things that we were going to overpay for, I thought Ugarte was going to be probably the least likely. And it feels like that's going to be the one that we do overpay for. But I tell you what, right? And this is something really important to understand. I've seen a lot of discourse around Ugarte just suggesting that in no way, shape or form is he a player that can help Manchester United, or he's going to be an awful signing. I think Ugarte could be a very, very good signing for United. Is he the complete midfielder? No, not in any way, shape or form. But if he sticks to a specific set of tasks, and that's not really what you want to spend 60 mil on, for being honest, for a midfielder that you spend that much on, you expect them to pretty much not have any weaknesses, but just be able to do a bit of everything, really, whilst also doing some things great. Now, Ugarte, out of possession, winning the ball back, man, he is a complete and utter destroyer. He is literally like an elite top 1% signing in terms of his defensive output. Like, there's pretty much nobody better. Even last season, I think he made the most tackles in Ligue 1. The season before, he made the most tackles for Sporting Lisbon as well. He's a dog. However, he does have flaws. And I've got my Ugarte transfer profile video that's been ready to go for a while. And you can watch that one when it's dropped. And I'll speak about all the good stuff about Ugarte, but also the question marks. But United's squad and midfield would be significantly better with Ugarte in than without Ugarte. Let's just find out when the here we go. Oh, when the there we land comes, we will be here. All right? Might even put that in the title. There we land. That'll be fun. Let me see what you're saying. I'll read a couple of your questions out or comments out around Ugarte, and we'll move on to other transfer news. Ugarte can complete our midfield. Get Ugarte in now, then sell Casemiro next summer, and then sign somebody like just sign an elite midfielder, and then you've got Ugarte and that elite midfielder, and then you've got a squad. You have a squad. Simmy Skim saying, not saying he won't help, but he's not worth 60 mil. If we pay that, it'll be no different to what we've done in the past. No, we paid 70 mil for a 30-year-old Casemiro. Very, very different to paying 60 mil for a 23-year-old. 23? And again, that's something that people don't really speak about. Ugarte is young. Wow. Not young, but he's got plenty of years left. I think he's 23. Yeah, 23, man. I think people are going overboard in being angry at the price, but I'm a little bit frustrated, right? I'm a little bit frustrated. Alpha saying I just joined. Who's this Kone? Kone is an 18-year-old that we've signed, and we just had a whole conversation. You have to go back and watch it again because I'm not going to say it again. But it's just exciting to see a signing like that and a real sort of indicator of what Christopher Vivell is actually doing. Right. Let's move on to the next part of the show, and let me quickly pull this one up. We're going to be speaking about a couple of exits. We're going to be speaking about Jadon Sancho and Juve. We're going to be speaking about Brighton. Lots more. But I want to start. I'll read a couple more of your comments out down here, actually. You'd rather spend 60 mil next year on an elite defensive midfielder. It doesn't mean that we can't do that as well. Our finances will be a lot better next year. Is Ugarte starting ahead of Casemiro? Akash, I absolutely think he would. Personally. And then you should have Ugarte. I'm looking forward to doing this as well, by the way. I'm going to do like a squad analysis at the end of the summer transfer window. Once all the transfers are complete, I'm going to look at the starting 11, the second choice in each position, and maybe even the third choice as well. Our squad is a lot better this year. And Ugarte and Casemiro in that sort of slightly deeper role. Options. Right, let's move on. And let's speak about Oyedele. We got confirmation yesterday that he has joined Legia. Legia? How do you say Legia? I'm going to go join Warsaw. Of course, is it his mother's Polish? He can represent Poland. And he's left. And good luck to him, okay? Because Oyedele is... because Toby Collier is breaking through this season, the pathway just wasn't there for him. And there's going to be people saying, oh, Oyedele is better than here, blah, 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 blah. The club has made their decision. The coaches who watched all these players train for the last X amount of weeks have decided that Collier is a better prospect than Oyedele, and that Oyedele, the pathway now isn't there, and move on. Good luck to him. Now, I've added him to the done board, which is getting busy, by the way. Very busy. You've got Will Fish down there. No, is it Will Fish? It is Will Fish. Will Fish down there. We don't actually know what the price is for Oyedele. I've seen certain things, but I believe the Athletic said that the price is very much dependent on appearances and bonuses and X, Y, Z. Of course, the same thing exists with Oyedele that's existed with lots of the players that we've sold. A massive sell-on clause. Somewhere between 40 and 50%. And quite a few people have pointed out to me there. I say, look, next summer, Manchester United, one thing we've got to do is when we sell players, and look, Fish is going to Cardiff as well for around about 2 million, which is down on the whiteboard there. You can see that. When these players do leave for relatively not much money, that's how we can get the big sell-on clauses. If we were to sell Oyedele for 8 million or so, we probably would struggle to get any sort of sell-on percentage. So it's like, because United right now, we're in a position of weakness with negotiating on players because we're a club that's in the shadows and we can't get the best prices out of them. The club has decided, let's sell them off cheap, but let's include a massive sell-on percentage. So if they do go on to be successful, we'll then get that price back that we probably should have got at the beginning. That's the structure that they've chosen this summer. Now, next summer, you might see that Man United, we only get a 20% sell-on clause for any player that we sell. However, we should get more up front for them then. That's what they've gone for. Let me read a comment down there from Hooky. How you doing, buddy? Thank you very much. Oh, Pringles Man is your avatar. What's the best flavour of Pringles? Actually, no, quickly, before we move on. So, 1,100 of you have voted in the poll of the year so far. Who wins in a scrap? You're back in Ratcliffe to beat El Khalifai. 80% to 20. Well, it's got to happen now. Fight's got to happen. Hookie's saying, Kone for me is a more exciting prospect than Obi Martin. Both look like great prospects, but something I really like about Kone from what I've seen. Very different players, of course. One's a defensive midfielder in Kone, and one is just an out-and-out goal-scoring machine in Obi Martin. It's going to be exciting watching our under-21s this year. And they were a bit shaky against Barnsley the other day. 1-3-2 because Fletcher scored twice. But looking forward to that. So Oyedele, he's left. Will Fish, he's on the way out. For more than £1. Very, very cheap. £1 fish. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. That sticks in my head forever, that song. What are you saying down here? Barbecue Pringles? Is that a Texas barbecue ones? Sour cream. There's only so much you can have of them. You know what? I'm going to say this, and so many of you are going to unsubscribe. I hate salt and vinegar crisps. I hate vinegar. Badly. Like, just malt vinegar. I don't mind, like, if you put vinegars in, like, a pickle or just malt vinegar. Nah. Sour cream. They're all right. I think I'll go for the barbecue ones, though. They're insane. Paprika, though. Nah. Nil point. Right, let's move on to something that I'd love to see happen. Something that I still don't think will happen. But let's find out. Aaron's blocking me. Tenderloin's calling me a freak. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? Right. Jadon Sancho. Fabrizio said that Juve are considering making a move for him. You got DiMarzio saying that they are considering a loan with an obligation to buy for 40 million. And of course, the wages are the problem. Almost feels like United might just be willing to say, for example, it was a loan with an obligation to buy for £40 million. And I saw reports that Jadon Sancho's wages are worth in the region of 20 million euros a season. Because he's on what? 300 grand a week? Is that about what he's on? There, let's call it 250. I don't actually know exactly what it is. 250 a week, a mil a month, 12 mil. That's not quite 20 million euros, but let's call it like 15 million. It almost feels like United would be willing to take a lower obligation. So drop that to 30 million, for example. And therefore, if you do sign him, it covers the wages that you've then paid over the course of this season. Jadon Sancho doesn't have to leave this summer because there might just be nobody who wants him or can afford him. But he has no role in the future of our football club. Jadon, man, you had your chance and it's gone. You've tainted a relationship with the manager who has been backed by the club. Sure, you're back in. I think Eric Ten Hag has kind of made it clear, clear or indirectly. I don't know whether they like fully apologise to each other. It might have just been a case of, well, that was last season. This is this season. Should we start fresh? Cool. Let's go. It really feels like it's going to have to be a sort of cutting our losses with Sancho. Because of the bumper contract that we gave him. We've stung ourselves. So if indeed Juve want to come in for him, I think Juve, we already spoke about this before. They're looking at Conceição, the Porto winger who played for Ajax before. And they're looking at Jadon Sancho too. What else are you saying down here in the comments? Pay half his wages. It's just going to be... I don't know whether we can do that with our bottom line, man. We don't have much money. People are saying 250. I thought it's somewhere around 250, 300k. It's a lot, right? It's a lot of dough. Our prawn cocktail Pringles. Ah, bueno. Man, we are getting into the real conversations that I know all of you want. Who's going to win between Ratcliffe and El Califano fight? And what's the best flavour of Pringles? You don't get this anywhere else, all right? But yeah, Chelsea, if you want another winger, Nah. Don't think it will happen. My personal prediction is that Jadon Sancho is going to be a Manchester United player come the end of the transfer window, and he's hardly going to play a peep for us until January. And maybe in January, we somehow manage to move him on, and that's the end of that. That would be my prediction. Is what it is. All right. Now let's move on. Last bit of the show. Let's speak about, the game of football that's happening tomorrow. Early kickoff again against Brighton. Let me put it down as a poll here. Let me see what everyone's saying. Start a poll. What do you... oh, dear. What's your prediction? Right. Are you going for a Brighton win? A draw? Or a United win? Because it will not be an easy game. All right. I'll run through my team yesterday's. Run through some team news here from Erik ten Hag. He was asked about transfers. Everyone tried... I don't know what... I suppose it's the journalist's job, right? If I was in the press conference, I work for a paper, of course I'd have to ask Erik ten Hag a question about transfers. It's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing. But he's never going to say anything. Never going to say anything of any real merit around transfers. All right? Yeah, we're pleased. More's coming. Stay patient is what he said. Spoke about Xerxes, saying he was happy that he scored with his first effectively touch in the box. First game. And he won 3 points for it. Well, 2 points for it. I said 2 extra points. Always annoys me that goal that... Was it against Brighton as well? Well, it wasn't Brighton. Obviously, his was against Fulham. But Højlund against Brighton at Old Trafford, when it was offside and it wasn't off, and then he didn't score for 3 months. That was a bummer. I think it was Brighton. And then Erik ten Hag spoke about Sancho, right? Again, personal prediction. I'd be surprised if Sancho was in the squad this weekend. All right. In terms of team news, all the same injuries from last game. Højlund's out, Yoro's out, Shaw's out, Madison is out. Lindelof, some form of toe problem. Don't know what it was. He's not playing. But this was my team prediction. All right. And of course, you'll see there are 2 big names I think everybody wants to see there that I haven't got written down. I think a lot of you would want to see this. De Ligt coming in for Harry Maguire. And Xerxes coming in for Bruno. Now, I think on paper, that's a better team. I really do. And I've got Garnacho down there at left wing instead of Rashford. My personal prediction is that I think Erik ten Hag is really going to ease both De Ligt and Martinez, both De Ligt and Xerxes into the game, into Manchester United. And Maguire, I thought, was arguably man of the match against Fulham. He deserves to keep his spot there. And Mason Mount did a lot of the hard yards off the ball. Finishing wasn't there, but the finishing wasn't there for Bruno either. If we play how we played with that exact same team... Sorry, I didn't mean Xerxes for Bruno. I meant Xerxes for Mount. If we play with that exact same team, which is there, that's what we played against Fulham. And we do exactly what we did against Fulham, but we have better finishing. We're scoring 2 goals in the first half. Easy. Bruno, his finishing was awful. Well, not awful. It just wasn't as clear-cut as it needed to be. Mason Mount had a chance as well. That team will make opportunities. And I think I personally rather just slowly introduce Xerxes in. Let Mount do the hard yards. Mount is being fit for all pre-season, all right? Let him do the first half. If you want to take him off at half-time for Xerxes, fine. But I'd rather see Xerxes come on where Brighton are probably a little bit more tired. I'd rather see him end the game than start the game. Personal preference, and I think that's my prediction as well. Maguire and De Ligt is an interesting one because I think you have to play players on form. I'll always stand by that. Form is the most important thing, apart from actually being a good footballer, which helps as well. Form is, you can't ignore form. Form and confidence, they can make a 4 out of 10 player a 9 out of 10 player. And no confidence, no form, Marcus Rashford, can make a player who's capable of 9 out of 10 just look like a ghost. Maguire played well. And again, De Ligt hasn't had any preseason with United. He had some with Bayern Munich, but it was very broken. So was Xerxes. I don't think either of those 2 will start this game. And I think both will come on again. And probably the same thing would happen for the Liverpool game. Maybe not. Maybe they're going to be fit for that one. And then after the international break is probably when you're going to start seeing Delict and Rashford. Sorry, not Rashford. Delict and Xerxes starting for United. Right, let me see down there in the comments. So give the same start 11 the chance to kick off in the first match. As long as we don't play how we did in the opening 25 against Fulham, where we were massively disjointed, same as we were in the Community Shield, I think it'll be a good game, man. I'll tell you what, everybody is chirpy and confident in the comments down here. 80% of you. Thank you for all voting. 750 votes. You are saying United are going to win this game. I wouldn't say I'm as confident as that. I'm certainly not like giving Brighton only an 8% chance of winning this game. They were impressive against Everton. Sure, Everton are crap. Sure, Everton got Ashley Young sent off in the whole second half. They had 10 men. But Brighton are a proactive team. Kind of always have been. New, young and up-and-coming manager. And they will be difficult. Mitoma up against Delo is going to be no, is it Mitoma against Delo or probably Mazraoui, I think. And that'll kind of be an interesting one because it's the sort of game where maybe some United fans would want Wan-Bissaka to start because, you know, they're the sorts of players that Wan-Bissaka previously have been able to just shut down. So let's see. Maybe it'll be Delo playing over there at right back and Mazraoui goes to left back. I have no idea. My prediction for this game, see if I can make it 3 out of 3, all right? I predicted a 2-1 win. Just. I've got it bang on for the Community Shield, bang on for the Fulham game. And if I do this one and it's 2-1, I'm just going to retire. I'm just going to end the channel and everyone can remember that that's the reason I've left. What a random comment there from S-Hack. We need a Park Ji-sung replacement. Maybe we need a Roy Keane replacement. Need a Yap Stan replacement. Well, technically, we might have got one there in Delict. Mazraoui should start on the left down there. Mate, the manager's 31. I actually think I look younger than him. Nobody saying anything. I'm not going to read your comments out. So that makes me feel better about myself. I bet on a United win or a draw, says Simbi Skim. I should really follow my bets, really. I'll be honest. Should get, like, sponsored by Sky Bet. And then do, like, United People's TV predictions. Got 2 out of 2. Sky Bet, if you're watching, should be reaching out. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I am in the 80% too, but it's going to be one of those, like, 2-1s, like, I don't think it's going to be a comfortable game for United. I don't think it's going to be comfortable at any point. But I'm just backing us to win it because that's what you do as fans. You go in with hope and then you get disappointed because that's the way of being a football fan. All right? Now, I just want to say, lunchtime video today is going to be around Sekou Kone. I'm going to speak about it in a little bit more detail. Going to run through some examples of him in action. As long as it doesn't get shut down for copyright. I don't think it does at academy level, so it should be all right. And, yeah, that will go out at around about, I don't know, 12 o'clock, maybe a little bit slightly earlier. Hopefully we get the Here We Go later on today. But, I mean, it's not the map song, but it's the new United People's TV song. The map day is here, all right? Let me know where you're watching from, the city and the country, and I'll get a few of you added onto the map. I typed in elevator music to find this. I'll be jamming in that elevator. Or lift, as we call it over here. I'll be there all day. It's another 2 minutes on that. Right. Where are you watching from, peeps? It is map day. It is Friday. It is Friday, right? It is Friday. Yeah, good. How old am I? How dare you ask me that? 35. Am I 35? 89. Yeah, I'm 35. There you go. What have we got down here? Oh, goal ratio watching from Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Cool. I think we had too many from Riyadh or Saudi Arabia. We'll see down here. Let's get another one from YouTube. We got Mark watching from Toronto in Canada. Speaking of Mark, I saw your comment there, Mark, earlier asking about the sound bites, and I will say this quickly now. Ladies and gents, quickly, before we go back to that, please head over to the Discord and look in the announcements channel. The form is there for anybody who wants to submit a soundbite. Wrong button. Anyway, to submit a soundbite that I can add to the soundboard. And the best submission is going to win a Stan Chow poster that's worth like 50, 60 quid. All right. Previously, you had to download it and clip it up. But now all you need to do is just find the link to the thing that you think will be funny on the soundboard and put a timestamp. That's all you've got to do now. So make sure you head over to the Discord after. I'll drop a link there now. United People's TV. Discord server. There you go. And let's get one more on the map. We've got... we've got Yassin watching from Tamara in Morocco. Cool. I'd like to go back to Morocco. I wouldn't go back to Marrakesh, if I'm honest. But I'd like to go to Casablanca. I think that would be nice. Tamara in Morocco. Thank you, sir. Oh, madam. On the map you go. Woo! I'm going to wrap that up now. Another full week here on United People's TV. Please do subscribe if you're new. My lunchtime video is going to be on Kone. I'll be here tomorrow, straight after the game. I'm going for a tight 2-1 win, but let's find out. And maybe I'll be back here later today with a There We Land for Manuel Ugarte. Maybe not. All right, we'll find out. Big up to everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you soon.